Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. So this one's a long one and it's a bit special. So recently I went on holiday with my son to visit my uncle, and while we were down there we went to the arcade club in Bury. So before we get that, it was me and my oldest son, the one I make videos with. We went on holiday. So my youngest son, he's only a few months old, so obviously he couldn't come with us to the arcade club. He stayed with his mum. So because he couldn't come, I'm going to just sit this up here. This is a teddy that I bought him when he was born. So that's just because he couldn't come. So I'm just going to explain just now the same thing I explained to my son. All the footage is mostly of him. I'm not in any of the footage. And he offered to film me playing some of the games in this arcade, but I'll tell you the same thing I told him. I would rather watch him play games than him watch me play games. So I wanted to see him have fun, so I let him play the games while I recorded. Obviously I did get to play some games, it's just not recorded. There's a few times when I recorded a couple of games of me playing it, but I failed badly at it, so I'm mostly stuck to filming him play games while we explored this place. This place has got so much in it. It's got pinball machines, retro arcade games, but you'll see that in a second. We didn't get to play everything, but we spent an entire day here and it was fantastic. The staff were brilliant, they're very friendly and very accommodating. So without further ado, let's go explore the arcade club. So here's me and my son, we're walking into the arcade club. Yep, as you can see, he's very excited to enter. So yeah, so we're going up these stairs. It's up, we're going to the third floor, we're not going to the second floor today. So there's quite a lot of stairs for us. I noticed once we got to the top there was a lift, so there's the second floor. We're not on there today because it's 18s only, the day that we happen to be in, so we're spending our time on the third floor only. But my son's just as excited, as you can see. He's very eager to get to the top and play. I'm not that fit myself, so as you can tell, it's taken me quite a while to get up there. I'm quite out of breath at this point. Thank God I'm not using the actual audio from the camera. So there we go, that's us entering. Son's very excited. We got a glimpse of a couple of the tabletop games here in the seating area next to the eating area. So the first start game my son goes for is Pac-Man. He's a big Pac-Man fan. He was a Pac-Man fan of the cartoon Ghostly Adventures a few years ago when he was younger, and he plays Pac-Man on the Sega and on phones. So yeah, so he was straight to the Pac-Man machine as soon as he's seen it. He's fairly decent at the game, but he does make mistakes every now and again. So yeah, as he's doing well. I'm pretty sure this was him on the second level, and he just trapped himself there. So yep, rookie mistake. So have a look at the machines in the place. There's 250 machines on this floor. So what can we see here? I can see WWF WrestleFest. We did play that, but I didn't manage to get any footage of us playing that. I can see Raiden or however you pronounce it, and there's the Robocop arcade machine. We will get back to that later on, and I did enjoy playing that when we got to that. So have a little look over here. What do we see? I can see Mortal Kombat in the corner over there, and there's a man there playing Ghouls and Ghosts, so I'll get back to that. There's Golden Axe, and what else we got here? Nemesis, and what is this machine up? They had an Xbox set up so you can play some arcade games, and a PlayStation Mini, so if you want to play the games in the PlayStation Mini, as well as a Neo Geo machine. Never get round to this, or R-Type, or 1942, but I have played the games on them before. So my son was just checking out a game there. So here's the driving games. My son was a big fan, so we've got Outrun, that's my driving game. We've got Daytona USA here, and we've got, I forgot the name of this game, Police something. And we've got Rave Racer, that was a good game, Sega Rally, and more Outrun. My son was a big racing game fan, so we spent a good chunk of time playing the racing games, as you'll see now. So my son here is playing a game called Stun Runner. Never heard of this game or seen this game before, but he seemed to love it. He played it quite a few times, and he seemed to be not that bad at it. It reminded me quite a lot of the online races you get in Grand Theft Auto these days, and a little bit of Roll Cage, because you could drive on the ceiling stuff. So we got 18 Wheeler and Crazy Taxi. I used to love playing these back in the day. I'd get a shot of these, so I loved playing them. Took me right back to my nostalgia. And my son here playing Pole Position. He did play this quite a few times. So yeah, I think he just liked being in a little car pod and playing this game, so he was quite good at this. I'm pretty sure he finished second or third in his first couple of attempts. So yeah, he's doing quite good. Staying on the road, not coming off, unlike me. I crash every 2 seconds when I'm playing a driving game. So yeah, he did like playing Pole Position. And then he played this game. What was this game called? This game was Super Chase. So I'd never heard of this game before, but he was quite good at it. Once again, he loves the driving games. He was good. I'm pretty sure I just got to catch up to bad guys and crash into them, or I think it's a racing game, not sure, didn't pay much attention, but he just crashed his car just like his dad. But here's a game that he spent most time on in the full place. He played this game so many times. Daytona USA, he absolutely loved this game. He did quite well until whenever I distracted him by talking to him and he had to take his eyes off the screen. So yeah, that's my fault that he sometimes messed up, but he did quite well. So yeah, he played all the stages. He didn't stick to the amateur stage, which I was quite proud of, but look how intense he's playing that. Oh, look at him go. Yep, if he's playing another stage. Yep, he's doing quite well. I don't know position, I can't see his position from here. I think he's last place, but he's still loving himself. He's loving it. Oh son, oh, you don't, when I'm talking to you, there we go, see I distracted him and I made him crash. Come on son, you can do it. And this is one of the few times I tried to film and play a game myself, and as you can see I'm disastrous at doing both because I had to steer and stuff with one hand. So the aim of this game, the police game that I didn't know the name of, got to crash and take down this car that I'm chasing. But when you're trying to pay attention to what you're filming and actually playing the game, it didn't work out too well, but quite like the footage. So here we go, you can see me actually playing the game. So I did not too bad, but I did better when I wasn't actually filming. I got to like stage 3 or something like that before I decided to move on to a new game. So we've got the shooting games here. We've got Point Blank and Point Blank 2. I can see Operation Wolf and Time Crisis there, as well as Off-Roads, and I can't see the name of that game. I get Time Crisis Zone as well. You had Police Trainer and Crossroad, but here's the daddy, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now me and my son, as you can see, we sat down and we played the hell out of this game. We were a ball hair from finishing this game, as you can see. This introduced my son to the Terminator franchise and he's quite eager to see the films now. So here we go, we're going to take out some T-800s in the future war. So there we go, son's firing away. So yeah, so this took me right back to my childhood. I used to love playing this. I'm sure they had this in Blackpool when I was younger, and I used to always play it whenever we visited Blackpool. I don't think any of my local arcades or amusements had it. So yeah, shooting T-800s, we did really well. I think we spent a good half an hour, 45 minutes just on this machine. So as you can see, this is still the first level. We got quite far. I've never seen this before in my life. Didn't know John Connor even made an appearance. So we got to the final stage. Just have to protect John Connor here. My son was loving it. He did that. He actually did better than me. I'm pretty sure his score on the end was what I. So I calculated that if I was to pay this machine, it would have probably cost me about £50. So here we are on the final boss. We've got to take out the T-1000. So here we go, we did really well, but we just could not beat him, so we just had to give up in the end and move on to a new machine. So moving on, we've got Space Harrier here. There's the Pac-Man machine my son played, alongside Miss Pac-Man. We've got something called Bomb, and there's Star Wars Trilogy. I did play this and I loved it, it took me back as well. Total Carnage, never heard of that one before. And what we got down here, so we get Spy Hunter, that's an old classic, and Afterburner. You can't say no to Afterburner. Didn't get any footage playing this though. Paperboy was a lot harder than expected in the arcade, but this selection of arcade games is absolutely outstanding. It's without a doubt the best arcade I've ever been in my life. So they roll back to the 18-wheeler games. So there we go, Tato machines, but there we go, NBA Jam. Didn't even know there was an arcade machine of that, but there's the daddy. Ghostbusters. Me and my son played this for quite a bit. As you can tell from the channel, I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. But I got some footage here of my son playing the game, so you can get a real idea what the game is like. So it's a top-down shooter. So you just got to shoot, catch ghosts and move on. So there we go. So my son's doing quite well. You can play this in 2-player modes. We did play this in 2-player for quite a bit before I got some footage of him playing by himself. But while he was playing that, I decided to play some Operation Thunderbolt. It plays just like Terminator 2. You've got a mounted Uzi and you've just got to shoot. So you can kind of see me there. Unlucky for you. So yeah, so it just plays like Terminator 2, mounted Uzi, just got to shoot stuff. But while you're filming and shooting, it's not too well. At least with Terminator 2, I had my son to at least back me up while I was doing some recording. So yeah. No drinks on the machines yet, so there was a cafe and stuff inside the place that you could buy refreshments, you could buy food. It was really well priced, the staff were brilliant as well. So we're moving on here, so what can we see here? What game is this? Not sure. So here we've got here the Le Mans, so that was a good game, and we've got Indiana Jones. I forgot to get around to playing this, but I wasn't too fussed because I'm not a big fan of Indiana Jones in general. It's not my kind of thing. And here's the game my son was playing earlier on, Super Chase. That was quite good. And there's an assault game. Never got around to playing that. And I did play this, Toboggan. I loved playing that. My son didn't really get a shot of it, but I don't think he was interested. Here's the X-Men arcade key machine. We didn't play this because my son was a smidge too short and couldn't see the screens right. But I do have this in the PlayStation 3, so it isn't going to miss out. We've got Virtua Tennis here. I remember my friend Keita playing this all the time in the local arcade. We had Marble Madness. Didn't know that existed in the arcade, and I loved playing it. It took me back to playing it on my Game Gear. And we've got some games here that I'd never heard of, but we did check out. So we've got Zybots. It wasn't really for me. We've got Stargate. And we've got a kind of whack-a-mole type thing where you just use your hands. My son enjoyed playing this, but I forgot to record some footage. Got Silent Scope and Time Crisis 2, your classic arcade shooters, as well as Dance Dance Revolution. Beside that, we didn't really bother with those ones. It's not really up me and my son's street. I'm not a big Time Crisis fan myself. I know that's sacrilege to some people. Here we go, Burger Time. I did play this a little bit with my son, but he didn't really dig it too much. Strider, I played this for a little bit. It took me back to playing it on the Mega Drive, but I'd say this one was awesome as well. Never played it in an arcade in person before. Turbo Trade, so checking out some more of these machines. As you can see, there's hundreds of them. As I said, there's 250 machines on this floor alone. So me and my son, even though we spent the full day here, we didn't get to play everything. So you could easily spend a full day here. It was value for money. I couldn't recommend it enough. So yeah, some more machines here. Mr. Do, never heard of that. Joust, everyone's heard of Joust. It's at least in all the arcade compilations. It was on PSP and PS2 and stuff. And what game we got here? Can't even read that. So here we go. This slightly bugged me. We've got Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, but it's got Mortal Kombat 1 in it. So we did have a little shot of this, but it's Mortal Kombat, you can't not like it. And here we have the Commando machine. Played a little bit of this, took me right back. And then let's see what we've got here. So we had Shinobi in the arcade, fantastic. I love playing Shinobi in my Mega Drive, but now we've got to play it in the arcade. And we got some other games here. So there's Dig Dug. So I've enjoyed Dig Dug. Oh, Tron. As soon as I seen this thing, I had to get a selfie with the thing. So I'll put that up on the Facebook page. So let's try out Tron. Let's see if I'm any good. I love the movie. Let's see if I'm good at the game. Let's try the light cycles first. So this is me trying the light cycles. I actually filmed myself doing this. Let's see. And I crashed instantly. I was not good. So let's decide, you know what, that's not happening. I'm going to try that once more time. Maybe I just was wiggling the joystick enough. So let's try Tron again, because I love the movie and I've always wanted to play the arcade machine. So yeah, I'm able to start moving, yeah, but the computer's just too good for me. So I'll give my son a try. Let's see if he's any better than his dad. So at least he was able to turn it instantly, but turned too well. He turned into the wall. So let's try another one of the Tron games. So let's try the tank one. So he did a lot better than me, because I instantly died in every Tron game. You get fed up of Tron, so we moved over to Dig Dug, which my son enjoyed more. He spent quite a bit of time playing Dig Dug. So I played a game similar to this when I was younger on the original Nintendo. I always known it as Boulder Dash, but whenever I look up Boulder Dash, it's nothing like this game. So I'm not sure if it was a pirated copy of Dig Dug with just Boulder Dash sticker on it, but this is exactly the game I remember. You got to dig and drop boulders on the enemies, but my son quite enjoyed that. So we moved on from Tron. They had the discs Tron, but the machine wasn't turned on, so I was a bit gutted that I couldn't try this one, but hey ho. We moved on here, and what do we have here? We've got Centipede, classic, next to Asteroids, also a classic, so I never get around to playing these. And we had this Mappy game, never heard of it, never tried it. So yeah, we've got some more classics here. We've got Defender, Robotron, I'm not sure what that one is. Super Pac-Man, we'll check this one out later as my son's a big Pac-Man fan. Crystal Caves, I tried that one, it was actually quite fun. And so we've got some real classics here. So the guy playing there, Gorf. I've heard of Gorf, but I've never played it, and I forgot to go back and play it. Star Castle, I did get to try that out, and Frogger. Oh, I love Frogger, so we tried Frogger out, it was fantastic. And so we just keep moving on. So as you can see, you could walk about here for ages and you'd never run out of things to try. So yeah, still having a look. Here's a little World Cup football game. Son's back on the pole position game while I'm having a little look about to see what there is. So when you go, son, you enjoy that while Daddy has a look about. So here we got the Star Wars trilogy arcade game. So I did play this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any footage of myself playing it because it required both hands, and I didn't want my son filming me, so I made sure that when I played a game like this, he was playing a game so that he wasn't just standing watching me. So here we go, wee Hot Rod game. So there's a Simpsons game, classic game, absolutely loved that in my childhood, playing that in service stations with Track and Field, Tapper, Qbert, not a big Qbert fan so I ignored that. Space Invaders, I definitely played this one. And Flicky, not a big Flicky fan. Never played this one, and I didn't play this one or this, but I definitely tried Space Invaders Part 2, as I did not even know there was a Part 2. That was fantastic to discover. So yeah, so I just went back, we tried the Simpsons game, introduced it to my son, he absolutely loved it. It plays a lot like the Turtles games on the Mega Drive, the Turtles in Time port, so he quite enjoyed this Streets of Rage style game. So we moved on, having a look. Let's get more games in here. So we've got R-Type, which was quite nice to see. We've got a Tetris game, never got around to trying it. We've got Tempests, and we've got the original Mario Brothers arcade game, so we're definitely going to try this one out. Fantastic game. So yeah, I just remember checking out that art, it was awesome. We got the Popeye game, I was going to play this, but the Mario Brothers game distracted me. There's a Donkey Kong 3, I didn't know there was a Donkey Kong 3, I knew there was a Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong, but I was quite surprised to see this, so it was quite nice to try something I didn't know existed. There's Donkey Kong Jr., I knew that existed, and there's the original Donkey Kong, the first ever Mario game, and there's another one of the Star Wars trilogy games that you could play it without sitting in the pod. So I introduced my son to Donkey Kong here so he could play the first ever Mario appearance. He quite enjoyed it, so yep. It was nice seeing him try this. I don't think he made it that far, I think he kept getting killed roughly about here, but so did I. So we moved on to Mario. So I told my son this was the first Super Mario Brothers game before there was a Mario Brothers game on consoles. So he really enjoyed this. So yeah, but the game was quite floaty when it came to the jumping, so it took quite a while for us to adjust to that. So we moved on, and we've got these arcade machines with Street Fighter 2. We enjoyed playing that. Unfortunately, the Player 2 wasn't working, so we moved over to the Japanese section and we played some Bishi Bashi. I absolutely love Bishi Bashi Special on the PlayStation 1. So when I seen this, I kind of lost it for a bit, and my son couldn't understand why, so we sat down and played it. We didn't do well at this first game, but the next couple of games we kind of picked up speed, and my son was starting to enjoy himself because this first dice game kind of left a sour taste in his mouth. But once that was over, we moved on. So I think he enjoyed the randomness of this game as much as I do. I had it on the PS1, and I've got a PS1 copy of the PS3, so I will be playing it again with him at some point now that I've introduced it to him. So this next one we tried was just a button basher, so I think he quite enjoyed that, so we just got to get the pencils out. So there we go, son, you bash away. So I'm doing it with one hand. So yeah, it's just random bash stuff like that. If you've never played Bishi Bashi, I recommend it. So the next Japanese game we tried was this rhythm beat drum game. My son kinda enjoyed it, but after we finished it we realised that there's a symbol right behind the drum, because whenever a golden thing came up we wondered why it wasn't registering when we beat the drum, but afterwards we seen someone using the symbol, so it's our own fault. We didn't really pay attention to the instructions, we just thought it was a basic button, so it was quite good. Basically Guitar Hero but with a drum. It was quite fun. The next Japanese game we played was this. It turned out to a Monster Hunter racing game where you shake a pig to make your character move. My son, it looks pretty fine, but when I was doing it the pig's at crotch level, so it didn't look right, so I looked over and there was people watching me and I was wondering why, until I looked down and realised what it looked like, so I gave some people a laugh, but the game was weird. I didn't realise until afterwards that it was a Monster Hunter spin-off, but it was real fun. We played this a few times, my son quite enjoyed it. So then we moved on to some Dragon's Lair 2. My son had never heard of it and I let him play it and it was fantastic. I think we could only ever manage to get about 5-10 minutes into the game, but it was great. I've got these at home, so I think he'll want to play them. So then we see in here Galaga. I wanted to insert right now a clip from Avengers of Tony Stark saying that man was playing Galaga from Avengers, but I didn't want to get flagged, so here's some footage of my son playing Galaga. So yeah, he did actually not too bad. I was quite impressed. I'm proud of you, son. Then he get blown up. But here we go. The meat of it, the thing my son was most excited about for this trip, the pinball machines. I introduced my son to pinball machines a few months ago at a Comic Con in Paisley. So he really enjoyed that, and ever since then he's been wanting to try pinball. So when I found out this place had 20 pinball machines, we were desperate for, and we played pinball. And as you can see, my son is taken to it. So watching my son play pinball machines just filled me with pride. So it's great watching your son try something that you love, and he actually likes it and gets enjoyment from it and is quite good at it. Because normally the children kind of humour you, but I was just, most of the time when I was filming this footage most of the day, I was just sitting there being a big proud daddy watching him be great at these games. Because look at the concentration up, and he's actually really good at this one. So that last one he was playing was Addams Family. This one, I think it was just a generic hockey game pinball table, so I can't remember what this one was. I think he only played it this once while I was recording it. There was a few that he played quite a few times. So here we go. Yeah, he's actually really good at these machines. Yeah, I just love watching pinball. So this one's Black Rose. I think he played this a couple of times. I played it a few times. It's quite a good pinball machine. Never heard of this one before, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. There we go, son. Get in there. Get in there, son. So that was Black Rose. The next, this was Judge Dredd, but the machine wasn't working, so I was quite gutted because this was the one we played at the Comic Con. So then we moved on to Twilight Zone. My son played this quite a lot, as did I. So whenever he was playing a pinball machine, I would play the one beside it, or vice versa. But and I took some time to record him because he was really good at these machines. He really enjoyed playing the Twilight Zone one, it's actually quite a good machine. I knew it existed, but I'd never played it before. Terminator 3, this was a nice surprise machine. My son played this quite a bit. It's got quite a nice few gimmicks to it, like the pinball launcher is a gun, so you've got to pull the trigger to actually launch the ball, and it's got a Terminator head on it. So this one had a nice few features on it, so we both played this quite a few times. It was a good table. And quite enjoyed watching him playing it as well, because he was really good at it and he activated quite a lot. No idea how proud it makes me watching him do stuff like that. So the next machine that we played here, we didn't get footage of us playing this. This was Doctor Who. It was a vintage Doctor Who one, and this was a fantastic table. I loved this one. I'd never heard of it, never seen it before, but I would play this one again in a heartbeat. So this one my son is currently playing is the Metallica one, I'm sure. Yep, it's the Metallica one, the Master of Puppets. Didn't know this one existed, didn't know Metallica had a pay table, but it was quite a good one. He played this one quite a few times, while I played the Doctor Who one. The Doctor Who one had a lot of features. I wish I got some footage of that. So there's Metallica again, and he's still playing the machine. He couldn't get enough of this one. But there we go, son. You made a mistake by rubbing your nose. But here's the daddy. I lost it when I seen this. This was my childhood pinball machine from when it was in Saltcoats and I was in the top score. Elvira Scared Stiff. It took me back seeing this. If you remember a few months ago, I did a video playing the video game version of this table. Just seeing it again in person, it made me a very happy man. Everything looked amazing. Oh, I couldn't get enough watching this and playing this machine. Then I finally got to be a proud daddy and watch my son try the machine for the first time. And he said it was his favourite table of the day, so he played this just as much as I played this table. It took me back to playing it on my phone. It took me back to playing it back in the day in Saltcoats. Oh, it was just a great machine. I could watch him play this all day, and I could play it all day myself. So he did really well playing this machine. So yeah, he spent ages playing this, activating. So as you can see, he's really good at activating the games. So I think in total we probably spent more time on this table than any other one because he loved it. I don't know if he loved it because I loved it, but it was great. So right beside the Elvira one was another Elvira one. But let's have a look at it anyway. There we go, here we go. Elvira and the Party Monsters. So yeah, I heard of this one, but I'd never played it before, so we enjoyed this table, but it's nowhere near as good as Scared Stiff. The Scared Stiff table is superior in every way. So yeah, my son played this a little bit. He was quite good at this one, but he preferred the Scared Stiff table. He went back to this almost right after playing this. So the Mario table that we seen at the beginning was out of order the entire day we were there, so that was a bit of a bummer that we couldn't play that. But once we're done with pinball, we went back to the arcade and we tried out some more games that we missed out earlier in the day. So my son went to Super Pac-Man to try this out. Obviously my son and his Pac-Man love. So yeah, so this game was quite good. I like the fact that all these like mazes with dead ends. So it was a bit more of a challenge, so that was actually quite cool. I'd never seen Super Pac-Man before, but I quite liked it, as did he. So we tried some shooting games again. So we tried some House of the Dead, so we're not playing mounted guns anymore. So we played this game together. So my son quite enjoyed that, but I don't think he enjoyed it as much because he had to like maybe go on his tiptoes a little bit to see the screen to shoot at it. So I think he enjoyed seeing the game, but I think if he was a little bit taller, he would have enjoyed playing this one even more. But I used to love playing this one back in the day, so we moved on to something that we could both play and enjoy a bit more after this one. And alright, son, let's go to something else. So we went to this Pac-Man Battle Royale, and this must be new because I never knew it existed. So the way this game works is you can play up to 4 players, you all go a different coloured Pac-Man, and you've got to try and eat each other by collecting the pellets as well as avoid the ghosts. So if you're normal size, you just bump into each other, but if you're, as you just seen me eating my son, I'm yellow, he's red. If you eat the pellet, the special pellet, you become big and you can eat another player. So it's the first person to win 2 rounds wins. So my son stopped talking to me at this point because I just eat him. So let's go to round 2. So as you can see, we're doing quite well. The ghosts aren't released yet. My son got himself the pipe, he's after me already. So I just got to keep avoiding them. So we did quite well. We played quite a few rounds of this, but I didn't record it all. I just wanted to get a quick bit of footage to show off the game because it's a Pac-Man game I didn't know existed. And then my son ate me, so we got 1-1, so I turned off the camera and we went, but he beat me in the end overall. So then we're back to try Robocop. My son didn't quite like the Robocop game as much as I was expecting him to like it, but I loved playing it. It just plays just the same as Robocop versus Terminator on the Sega Mega Drive, so it was quite good. Even just seeing him playing Robocop made me proud, but the next one made me even more proud. My son playing Ghouls and Ghosts Arcade. This is one of my favourite games of all time on the Mega Drive. I did really well when I tried it, but my son, he took to it right away. I thought he was just going to get frustrated and turn it off, but no, he was determined. He put everything into this. So watching my son play this made me filled with joy. So that was our arcade experience. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video, making it this far. Thanks for enjoying arcade. I hope you've enjoyed it. As you can see, my son loved it. I was just filled with pride that day, just watching him enjoy all these games from my childhood. It was fantastic, and I was surprised he enjoyed most of it because a lot of kids these days, unless it's got the best graphics, they don't bother, but he loved it and I had a great time. I'm definitely going to go back. I'll go back with him at some point, and I'd love to go back with my friends and maybe explore some more of the arcade that I didn't get to see. So who knows. So yeah, that was a great day. If you made it this far in the video, give me a little what in the comments, just so I can see who made it this far. And if you, as usual, if you liked what you've seen, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your pals, and as always, don't forget to have a gidgeon.